Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Limitless show with Maria Bond. And of course, today, as usual, we have an amazing guest on the show. She is what many people have called a show business legend. She's a singer, an actress, an author, a businesswoman in her own rights, who rose to fame in the 70s and the 80s, winning a popular talent show called New Faces. And since then, of course, she's been in theatre, covering all different genres of music, done lots of different things in charity and acted in films. She is really somebody that you want to sit back, take a notepad and start making some notes as to how to become limitless in all that you do. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Patti Boulaye onto the show. Welcome.
Good morning, darling. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the show. What an honor to have you on the show.
No, the honor is all mine. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Very early, Maria.
I know. I know. But you know, you look great. You look great, you know. So
it's the power of makeup. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh wow. Now you are a mother, a grandmother, a wife, a businesswoman. You know, you run charities. You've done so much. How do you get the time to do it all? You do so much. And I think, you know, when people really know the breadth and the length and the breadth of the things that you do on a general basis and throughout your life, they would be shocked and probably be asking the same question as well. So how do you do it?
Oh boy, that's a very good question. I just I just get on with what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know, they say God does not give you more than you can handle. Sometimes I think he pushes me to my limits, but but you know, I just get on with it. If it needs to be done, it needs to be done. If it comes into my mind, I've always for many years had a prayer, because I say to God, I can't hear you. I don't know if I can.
Yeah.
There's so many voices. It's a noisy world.
Yes.
It's even noisier now. But when I was little, it was a noisy world. Everything coming at you, this, that. And I said to you, you need to break through. If you need me to do something, you need to just get me on the case. Don't let me sleep. And I will do it. And he does.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's amazing how resilient we are when we really put our mind to. When your heart is in something.
I mean, come on. You know, yeah. I tell young people life is tough, but we are built to be tougher.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, and what a revelation, a simple one, the simplicity that we are actually robust and are able to bounce back.
It is so simple. Because, you know, when I say to people, life is so simple, why do we complicate it?
True.
You know, we have written rules, which is the Holy Bible.
Yes.
We have the unwritten rules. Well, I call it manual.
Yeah.
Okay. The written manual is the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
Don't stop. You got those two to live by.
Yes.
The only problem is the world is screaming at you and you forget, you lose your way.
Yes.
And if
yes.
you just have those two, everything else is just simple.
It's so true. It's so true. And then, but people then end up with their senses, follow all the seducing voices.
Yeah.
Even with the knowledge of the truth.
Even with the knowledge of the truth. I mean, sometimes, you know, I mean, quite honestly, it's even with the knowledge of the truth, people just, they have the truth right in front of them. They just, I don't know what they expect. And sometimes I say to people, I say, listen, they say to me, what do you mean it's simple? I say, darling, it is simple because if God was to reveal who he is fully,
yes,
neither of us can stand.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
You know, I say he comes in the still small voice. I said, that's one word you should take from the Bible, the still small voice. Not the thunder, not the lightning, not the still small voice, because we won't be able to stand anything else. Well, Patricia can't stand anything bigger than the still small voice from the Almighty.
That's right. That's right. He's given us all that we need for a life of godliness.
Oh, absolutely.
So true. And I assume because of the amount of successes that you've you've gathered in your life as such, that you have followed that still small voice. So how did it start? How did you get into the industry in the first place? Tell us. I think so many people out there want to know.
Oh boy, honey. I mean, that is God's doing. If there was ever, I mean, it's like the whole of my life. I've always been an inquisitive child.
Yes.
Okay. I'm the child when my mother was a seamstress.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she was such a good seamstress.
Yeah.
She make wedding dresses, she had customers come from it. That's how she educated us, bless her.
Yeah.
And I was the seventh of 9 children.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So when these women would gather, I know I was the only one who would go and sit and listen to the gossip.
Okay.
Real busybody. I was very quiet.
Yeah.
It worried my mother. I was very quiet, but that is because I was observing every single person and every single thing. And they would come, they would talk about life. I mean, when I was at secondary school, Holy Child College, and they'll have debates, I just thought the debates were so childish.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard adults talk about life. And so I'm thinking, I mean, people just think they use words and I'm thinking, gosh, this is so childish.
Yeah.
And I always used to learn from people much older than me. For that reason.
Yes.
Because I would run every now and then, you hear, wank me, I know. because I'm sitting around the corner and my mother will send me away and then I'll come back and go, can I get anybody a drink?
Yeah.
So I don't miss any of the little, So when I got to Holy Child College, and of course my mother is Anglican, my father is Catholic. So I was brought up Catholic, but I've learned to read the Bible because of my mother, really. And she used to make us fast one day. So my fast, about, I don't know, 45 years ago, my fast moved from Wednesday to Friday. And it's always been that every Friday. It's my prayer day. And I've come to believe that the Lord listens to me on that day.
Yes.
I even tell my priest, I say, if you're looking for him on Friday, he's on Patti's case. You choose your day. That's my day with my father. And,
yes, you.
But when I left, I mean, like I wanted to become a nun. It wasn't because I realized, it wasn't because I was pious, but because, being seventh of 9 children, brilliant children. I mean, come on, I used to come back from school, 8th in the class, and I'm thinking, yes. Then my sister is crying because she's second. Come on, it's like,
I can imagine that.
I'm getting invested in this family. Thank you. I am so pleased to come 8th. I'm thinking my mother will be so proud. And I come home and my sister is crying because she's second.
Yeah.
So I just think, oh, well, why bother? Why try? You're never going to beat this. And so, when I came to England, it was only to decide whether or not I wanted to be a nun. But really, I wanted to be a nun because I didn't want to be a lawyer, which is what Dad had chosen for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, home. It's either doctor, lawyer, engineer. Okay. Yes. Everything else. Artist. I used to draw.
Yeah.
Okay. And I used to get beaten before it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But my mother regretted it years later. She said, if I only knew what you were going to become. I said, Mommy, of course you wouldn't know. I mean, who was an artist, except maybe fella around some cootie and people like that, and she would gouge my eyes out if I even thought of going anywhere near the shrine. Do you see what I mean? So, it really was different in those days. So when I came to England and on holidays, and I just accidentally, this is God's doing. I mean, people since then, I'm not in charge. I know I'm not in charge because he's already ordained what he wants for me.
Yes.
So, I came to this country to decide whether or not to be a nun. My father sent me because, Reverend Mother said, Mother Thomasina, it was in my school, sent her away. If she decides to be a nun, we'll welcome her. So he sends me to England to my sister. And I was, cut a long story short, I was only sightseeing in London. And I Shaftesbury Theatre. And I thought it was Madame Tussauds.
Okay.
Because there was, in those days, Madame Tussauds, you know how the rounded front, long queues always.
Yeah.
And there was a head, the emblem then was a head, colorful head, rainbow colored head.
Yeah.
Well, I just saw this theater and there was this big rainbow colored hair. The fact that it was afro didn't matter. But it was rainbow. I think I must have seen the picture of Madame Tussauds just once. So I joined the queue.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be an audition.
Okay.
And that's where, and well, guess this. Like you said, The Sound of Music. Well, I was in the queue for a long time, probably about 2 hours, because it went round the block. And when I got to the stage door and realized it was an audition, and I thought, okay, gosh, I'm trying to cut this short for you. Number one, everyone was singing the same songs because they take you 2 or 3 at a time inside.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, they don't know any other songs here. But when it came to my turn, what came to mind? The Sound of Music. Okay. And when the guy said to me, well, what key? I said, I don't know. Just play it. I mean, come on, key. So anyway, I sang The Sound of Music. I only sang one verse because I couldn't remember the rest of it because it was just surreal, the whole thing.
Yes.
And they were looking for a soprano. And no soprano would audition for this show.
Yeah.
So after 2 weeks audition and over 2,000 people, Patti walks in and hits the highest note. Amazing. How awesome is that?
Amazing.
I mean, that always, I find it so awesome. It's, So I started.
It's amazing how God's ways just always is so perfect. And everything just,
every way.
How would you have known that was an audition? You're there, you're lining up, ready to sightsee, and you're just taking on this journey straight to your destiny.
It's incredible.
It is. It is.
It's incredible. Every time I think of it, it's like it feels like it happened to somebody else because it's just incredible. Actually, you see, that's why my faith never wavers.
Yes,
because this wasn't a choice I made myself.
And
then to actually go into and just sing The Sound of Music. Come on.
Yeah.
I didn't sound anything else.
Yeah, which is completely different from what the show was about.
Honestly, I mean, actually, that was another thing. This show, I don't know. You probably were still a star in heaven. This show was what I would call the den of iniquity.
Yes.
And sometimes I say to God, were you testing me? I mean, was this a trial? Was this a test? Seriously, because number one, it was a show in which, everyone said they were fighting for freedom. You forget, this is just after the Biafra War, okay?
Right, yes.
I have seen things most people should not see. And yet, I come to England and young people are looking for their freedom. I'm thinking, who is supposed to give you this freedom? And, I was the youngest in the show, but I felt like I was probably one of the oldest because my head was much older than the people in the show with me.
Yeah.
Would you believe in a show like that, and anyone in the show would testify, I've never even tried smoking, let alone drugs of any kind. Let alone, alcohol, forget it. If I have a glass of wine in 3 months, that is a celebration. So it's amazing that I came out of that unscathed.
Yes, and that's because I know that the original production Hair there was a lot of nudity, and then it was quite edgy.
It was very edgy.
Yeah.
And actually, when I was called to come and see the show, because I got home after the audition and was telling my sister what a crazy day I've had. This is the most ridiculous day ever. The phone rings. They want me to come and see the show. They would like to have me in the show. I go to see the show, and it was just really quite crazy. The music was fantastic. Music was, I mean, it will live on actually because
Yeah.
it was such good music. But then, like you said, it came to the nude scene. I went, oh no. I said, listen, my mother will slap me even on the phone all the way from Africa. Do you ever get that feeling? I could feel her hand on my head. Okay.
Yeah.
And they said, no, no, we don't need you for that. We need you to, because there was um, it was a sea. It was like souls rising, the nude scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, bodies rising. And then underneath is like the sea. I said, no, you be under the sea because the high note, it was like the high note of the show.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So I tell my sister, she sees the show. She said, yeah, no problem. And so I said, okay, I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was was a crazy experience because they tried everything to make me look like a hippie. Because being a hippie is in your head.
Yes, it is. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset. And no matter what they did, I remember the wardrobe woman saying to me, I could put you in a dustbin bag and you still wouldn't look like a hippie.
But the amazing thing is, you were the first woman that was on television with braids.
Oh yeah.
So that's quite hippie-ish for that time.
Well, no, actually, no. They thought I was too ethnic. No, the hippie was Afro for Black people.
Oh, I see.
They thought I was too ethnic. That was the interesting thing.
Yeah.
I was being accused of being too ethnic and too, because people were afraid really to identify with, because I can understand why.
Yeah.
If they grew up in this country, didn't know much about Africa, they just thought we were still living in, I don't know what they thought we were still living in. Because I remember having a discussion, being irritated by a discussion when one of the girls said, oh, I was talking about the building. We had this the Independence Day building in Lagos.
Yes.
Which is a skyscraper. And she said, oh, you have skyscrapers. I said, yeah, didn't you know? We build them on trees.
It's amazing. It's amazing the little amount of information people in the West know about Africa. Those who have never been.
Tell me about it, darling. It irritates me. This is why I knew that people were just even more stupid than I thought.
It's even going on today, where even the other day somebody was surprised to see some pictures I had from Abuja, and they were wondering, well, hang on, I thought it would be like huts, and even last week, and I was like, oh my goodness. But we have to understand, because with the lack of information, the only, you tend to assume the last image you saw is the reality of anything, really.
Precisely. So you can imagine what it was like in the late 70s here.
Yeah.
They still had signs. Well, the early 70s when I arrived, they still had signs saying no dogs, no blacks, no Irish.
Oh, wow.
But, now we're much more. But I was, in a sense, grown up, but quite naive in a sense. So I thought, I didn't know they were cannibals. They eat dogs, blacks, and Irish.
Oh. You're funny.
That's okay. I don't want to eat them. I didn't know that you guys practice cannibalism.
That's what, I do love that. The fact that you can find humor in something that have managed to break a lot of people, them.
Honey. No, you have to find humor.
And I'm sure you must have seen a lot of that and experienced a lot of that. How did you manage, racism? How did you manage to still be able to rise up in an environment where you would have received that? How did you deal with that?
Because I didn't see it as racism.
Yeah.
I saw it as pure ignorance.
Yes.
Absolute ignorance. I always had this thing. Those whom the gods want to destroy, they first drive mad. So I used to think, okay, listen, I remember calling one of my fellow artists a peasant, because everybody went, what the black people, you don't call a white person a peasant. If they behave like a bushwoman, they're a bushwoman. White, green, yellow, pink, red. A bushwoman is a bushwoman. It doesn't have color. That was always my mentality. I had no respect for my fellow human beings. After the Biafra War, I had no respect. No one. Because I realized we all end up 6 feet under. No one is as important as they think they are.
Right, yes.
So that was number one. People would say to me, I had agents come to me and say, "Oh, I can make you a star." And I go, "That is so kind of you. But it's a big thing to be a star, right?" Yeah. I said, "Well, that's incredible. If you can make me a star, how come you're not a star yourself?" But it's true. Okay, so it was naive, but it stood me in good stead.
Yes.
Like I said, I listened to adults so much that I thought like an adult without knowing it.
That's right.
But coming from a 16-year-old, it sounded, So now with people with Me Too movement, I'm going, oh, come on, people. It's because of what you were after. If I was desperate to be a star, yes, maybe I would have slept around and believed these idiots. Do you see what I mean? But I wasn't desperate to be a star.
Yeah.
I wasn't desperate to be a star. How do you go from being a nun to being a star, for goodness sake?
Yeah.
Unless
So tell us,
God ordained it.
What were your motivations then? Because you see, the thing is, most people who do rise up, it's not always, and who do rise up and stay up, it's not driven by vanity. Always. That might come in the way, that may not. We're all fighting this thing at every level, but there's usually something that's much more deeper that keeps them going and
I can
keeps
tell
them.
you what.
Yes.
Okay. First reason.
Yeah.
Dad disowned me when he realized.
Oh wow.
Okay, so that's okay. That only lasted a few years. Second reason is that Black people had very bad timekeeping.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was very observant. And when I joined show business, there was a lot of, oh, it's because we're Black. It's because we're Black. I'm going, no, it's not because you're Black. It's because of your attitude. Because I'm thinking, if E.T. can become if E.T. can become a star and become, come on.
Yeah.
I'm better than E.T. So I'm thinking, what is going on here? Why are Black people saying it's because they're Black? Then I thought, no, it's attitude. You're late. I spoke to a director and I said to him, because I could see the tension.
Yeah.
Okay? It was difficult to use Black artists. And then when you give them an opportunity, they had this ego and this complex thing, which I couldn't understand. You turn out 1 hour late for filming. Now it's just you and me. Before, it took 50 people to make a program.
Yeah.
They were being paid by the hour. So when you turn out late, how much have you cost the company? They didn't want to touch a single Black person.
Right.
So if it starts at 9 o'clock, I'll be 8:30.
Yeah.
And I realized that because of that, I became the one everybody wanted to use.
Right. Yes.
If they wanted the Black person to use, get Patti. She's not going to waste your time. That's how it happened, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And you see, this is the thing. I think that irrespective of what a person's color is, if you have the right mindset and the right attitude, God is able to use you. You spoke just now about ego. And ego is a big problem in the industry,
You see, ego, I always tell them, I say ego is for fools, really. Because I say to them, especially in show business, I often say to the young people, I said, oh, for goodness sake, darling. I said, anybody, there are 300 people that could take your place just like that. I said, your talent is nothing new.
True.
You're just blessed to be here.
Yes.
So give God something to bless.
That's right. Yes. You prepare the vessel, don't you?
Gosh, honestly, another thing does not. You pray that it would even last a few years. That's what you pray. Because there are thousands of people in the industry. Thousands. If you break through, you should be so grateful and welcome it and just use it. Yeah. So yeah.
Now, I want to talk about your OBE that you got from Prince
Yeah.
Charles, which, of course, that was nominated by the former Prime Minister, John Major.
Oh,
Now,
bless him.
yes, tell us how did you feel when you met the prince and such kind of
Oh
celebrity?
gosh, no. I mean, I had met the prince since I was 21.
Oh,
Yeah, so I had met him many times.
yeah, yeah,
And, we had a short conversation when he presented me with my medal.
yeah,
Because I had seen, well, before he presented the medal, I saw him maybe 2 years before. That was the last time I'd seen him, which
yes,
was, I was doing a Christmas show at the Royal Christmas party for veterans
yes,
at St. James's Palace, and he was there
yeah.
with Camilla. And so we just, I'd known him since he was, honestly, since he was so young. So,
Yeah.
but the funny thing is when we got there, because I didn't know who was going to present the, OBE to,
Yes.
do- to conduct the investiture.
Hmm.
So when the chief of staff at the palace came and said, "Your ladies and gentlemen, your investiture will be conducted by Prince Charles," I went, "Yes!" And everybody, so they all laughed. Everybody looked at me. I thought, yeah, I've always, I think he's someone I've always admired and liked. I've met him, I don't know, maybe 30 times. So before the investiture. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't a new thing because I know that you're
No.
quite versed with a lot of the monarchy, not just in the
Yeah,
UK.
the only one I didn't meet was the Queen Mother, but I was at her 100th birthday celebration.
Hmm. Oh,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
Okay. So tell us about your charity, because I know that you've been very much involved with a lot of charity work over in Africa, which is what you got the OBE for, and
Yeah.
also in the UK. Tell us about that, please. The charity that you're working on at the moment.
Well, okay. I have my charity is called Support for Africa Charity.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a private charity. I've been on the committee of about 20 charities in the UK over
Hmm.
the years, and I've been a patron of about 10 or 15, actually, I think. But you see, God moves in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
I was doing this because when my children were little, I decided to take years off. Ended up being many years
Mm.
because I just thought I can't keep traveling. I have to invest some time on my children.
Yes.
And during that time, I just called the charity and said, "Listen, I'm at your disposal. I'm at home. Whatever I can do."
Hmm.
Oh, whoosh. They all flooded in. Well, I don't know how the news got round. Okay. So it was crazy. But you know what? I learned so much. I learned a lot because they would say, they spent a lot of money on staff,
Hmm.
a lot of money. They raise money for Africa. I don't even know how much gets to Africa because
Oh,
the staff,
wow.
get paid. And so in the end, I just thought I have to do something for Africa
Mhm.
because everybody's talking about helping Africa. Nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
And I think the Lord heard me. Of course, God heard me. He always does. And sometimes you think, "Oh, you shouldn't have been listening." But I'm sorry. I speak to Him as like I thought. Oh, sometimes I think, "Oh, how did you know that?" But you know what happened was in 1981, my husband got involved in the HIV
Yeah.
case. Very first two cases in America. He was
Yeah.
trying to float a company
Yeah.
called Life Sciences,
Mhm.
NASDAQ, and the first two cases came up on these two young men with
Mm.
Kaposi sarcoma, which is a disease for old men. And
Mhm.
then it turned out to be this immunodeficiency virus thing.
Mhm.
Too early in the morning. I should have put my teeth in. Anyway, so he got involved in this, and of course, everyone was talking about Africa because
Yeah.
they had come back from Zaire. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, oh Lord, not another one, because we just done Live Aid with farming in Ethiopia, and I
Mm.
started getting involved. So I got curious, like usual. My husband would come back, and I would read all his papers.
Mm.
I would go through all the papers on this case,
Yeah.
and then I decided, that I would do something about this, but I didn't know how. It was a big problem,
Yeah.
HIV.
Yeah.
And incidentally, First Lady Stella Obasanjo, invited me
Yeah.
to come and help with her charity.
Yeah.
And I paid my way. I said, no. She said, send your ticket. I said, no, I'll pay my way because I don't know what I'm going to find. I don't like to be in anybody's pocket.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so I paid my way, got to Abuja, went to see her charity and decided, no, this is not for me. I can't do anything with this. And my brother then said to me, Sam, my brother said, let me show you where we're hurting. Took me to a village 2 hours away from Abuja. And this little doctor had 60 children that had been saved from forests where they were abandoned because they had HIV.
Wow.
Babies. Well, you see, the thing is, all right, so people think in villages, what do you have? You have the witch doctor, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we don't have the word immunodeficiency virus in our language.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we don't have the word virus in our language.
Mm.
And so when people here, the villagers, the babies got this HIV, they think it's an evil spirit. Because if it kills you, it's an evil spirit.
Evil spirit.
It's nature. Full stop. Okay, so these children had to be rescued from being buried alive because the mothers could not. Okay, it's a shame, but this doctor was looking at these babies, and I couldn't believe it. There's so many of them. It's just the way that hit me. And I came back to England wanting to save the first baby she had, who was called Victor. He was dying. He had 2 weeks to live when I met him.
Yeah.
He had been diagnosed, but he died literally a week after I met him. And I came back and I said to my husband, I've got to do something. I've got to do something.
Yes.
Those babies, I said, I've got to build education centers for HIV. Things I built in villages. And my husband said, okay. So we started. And this is not Patti's story. This is God's story.
Yeah.
Okay, so my husband says, we have to form a charity of our own. We have to do it fast. I said, how? He said, well, the first thing we do, okay, we need to get a good patron. So guess who our choices were? Prince Charles, John Major. Just like that,
Oh, yes, of course.
Charles, my dear, how would you fancy being the patron of your 500th charity? So, I thought, oh, no. So I said, okay, in my mind, I said, well, if you want me to do this,
yeah,
you have to deliver Prince Charles or John Major or no deal. Yes, my husband, if my husband was here, I'd tell you, it makes him laugh. My prayers make him laugh. Okay, it's John Major, Prince Charles. I'm not doing this otherwise. I thought that was my way out. Honey, in no time, I'm talking hours, not days, the phone rings.
Oh, yeah.
John Major's secretary, private secretary.
Yeah.
So John would like you to sing at his party. He is leaving politics. He's retiring from politics, and he's requested that you sing at his party. My reaction was, that was fast.
Yes.
That was quick.
Yeah.
So I said to her, Pat, just tell Sir John, no fee.
Yeah.
But all I need is, could you put my husband and myself next to Sir John at the table?
Yeah.
She said, that's it. I said, that's it. She said, no problem. That was how it happened. At the party, I said to Sir John, I explained to him what I saw and about the HIV thing and everything. And I said, I've started a charity. I said, it's no big charity. It's just me on my computer and Stephen helping and my children. And I said, but if you can give me your name on a piece of, he said, oh, done.
Wow.
Fine. So I thought, okay, the next morning when we got home, which was very early because, John lives far away, I didn't sleep. Maria, I didn't sleep. I designed. You see, this is where my artwork comes from. Yeah. I designed a logo.
Yeah.
First thing in the morning, I went to a Call Quick, which they had everywhere. Please print a letterheaded headed later paper for me. So they printed one, and I wrote to Sir John immediately saying, "I'm so sorry I cornered you at dinner, over this, but I'm just giving you a way out." I said, this is a small child. We haven't even started, but I'm just giving you a way out. So, I just don't want you to feel you were cornered. I got a reply back, and that's all I wanted. Just for him to write back. I got a reply back going, "Of course, you silly girl. Of course, I'll be patron." Yes!
It's official. It's in writing.
Thank you. And Support for Africa was born.
Yeah.
And then I had to put a show together because I needed to raise funds to build these centers I wanted to build. Guess what? Royal Albert Hall. I had my head set on Royal. I don't have stuff. It's me and my computer. So, but I had done shows at Royal Albert Hall for Major Sir Michael Parker, who's Her Majesty's Equerry. Yeah. He used to put on the military shows and all the royal events, okay, including events at Pentagon and places like that. And so I said to him, I wanted to do this. And he said, "Oh, Patti, no." He said, "Not the Royal Albert Hall." He said, AIDS, Africa, no. It's never going to work there. And I thought, really? We shall see. Exactly. I thought, no, we shall see, because this is not Patti, dude. This is my God, okay?
Exactly.
I can't tell you, Maria. God showed up in ways that makes me just gives me goosebumps every time I think.
Wow.
I'm telling you, but what people don't realize is you have to put in the work.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
For 12 months, I decided I was going to, for the first time, 3,000 gospel singers at the Royal Albert Hall. I was going to raise 3,000 gospel singers. How? I didn't know. I mean, we're talking 2002 here.
Yeah.
When I started, 2001. There were evangelical churches, but there were not that many. They started so. And then I thought, where are you going to get 3,000 gospel singers from? Seriously. And I just thought, how? Where? It's a long story, because when I went to see Sir Michael Parker, I had to entice him with something when I finally had a meeting.
Yes.
And I know that he told me once, I don't know what to do with 80 people, but I know what to do with 8,000.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, he thinks in the thousands. So
Great.
I said, how about I get 3,000 gospel singers? His eyes lit up. He said, 3,000. I said, yes. I'm thinking, oh Lord, where did that come from? Because I hadn't pre-thought of that.
Holy Spirit. There you go. The Holy Spirit.
Thank you. So I thought, where did that come from? Yeah. Anyway, I tell you what, when we went to Royal Albert Hall to get the dates, the Royal Albert Hall was booked 3 years in advance. But Sir Michael always had shows there. We had a meeting with the Royal Albert Hall. The president of the Royal Albert Hall, Sir Michael, was late. And I thought, oh, Lord, come on, Father, come on. This is not happening. And just as her next meeting was about to start, Major Sir Michael breezed in. He's a gentle giant, lovely man. And says, "Patti, dear, I'm so sorry. The Queen Mother wouldn't let me go." I went, oh, this show is on. Leave your date, Patti.
Oh,
so
wow.
The woman's face was like, yeah, we had literally 5 minutes. We had a date in 12 months.
Amazing. Amazing.
How good is God? How good is God? Nothing to do with me. But all I had to do, almost killed me. All I had to do was work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week for 12 months.
Wow. What's going through my mind as you're speaking is that, you remember that old African, when Jesus says yes, nobody can say no. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And of course, among the 3,000, you had the likes of Cliff Richard, Gabrielle, the pop singer, Uri Geller.
Unbelievable. And I was given the royal box from Buckingham Palace.
Ooh.
Nobody's ever achieved that without a royal. That he was given. I'm telling you, God is incredible. He amazes me. But let me give you one testimony. Let me give you one testimony that is the one for me.
Mm.
It's not that everything else you do, Father, isn't the one for me, but this one, also.
Yeah.
My husband and I, we got married in the registry office because my husband is twice divorced. And so, as a Catholic, I stopped going to mass. I mean, stop taking communion. I went to mass every Sunday,
Right.
but I wouldn't receive communion because to me, I just thought I'm not married in the church, and I
Mm.
am, in a sense, it's what they call Catholic conscience.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought, in a sense, I have offended my God,
Wow.
and so I prayed. Oh boy, did I pray! I fasted every Friday and saying, Father, when I can get married in the Catholic Church, I know you have forgiven me.
Mm.
But until then, I would just continue to make atonement.
Yeah.
So I just prayed and prayed. My husband was not, he was born a Catholic, but he didn't even know he was baptized a Catholic. But he didn't go, he wasn't a churchgoer, but such a good man.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay. So I prayed and prayed and fasted and prayed and fasted and prayed and prayed and prayed. 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. And the Lord answered my prayer in a way only He can answer.
Yes.
Went to Mass one day. Actually, my husband was with me at Mass. He started coming to Mass literally 10 years before this happened. Started coming to Mass. It was after my two brothers, one of my brothers killed in the first plane crash in Nigeria. He was a pilot.
Right.
Okay, so the same year I lost another brother.
Oh, wow.
So my husband came to Nigeria for the first time. My mother, he was like a son to my mother. Sat down with her in her room, I don't know, for hours. When we came back, he said to me, how can she have such faith in a God that's taken away two sons from her? And I said to him, well, where is she supposed to go? The psychiatrist? What do they know that he doesn't know? I said, he gave them to her. Where else could she go? He said, I just don't understand it. When we came back to England, he started going to Mass with me. So 10 years later, speed up to 10 years, we had this bishop come up. And my husband said to me, in our church, we had a visiting bishop. He said, why don't we talk to him about our problem? So I said, oh, okay. He was so nice because the bishop was just lovely. And it was the only time my daughter and I were chosen to take the offertory.
Yeah.
So we speak to him, Bishop Howard Tripp, may his soul rest in peace. And he was just lovely man. And he came to the house and said, okay, we invited him to dinner. We told him what was happening. He said, okay, well, let's see what, he said, he asked questions, cut a long story short. And we said, no. I said, we have to do this. It's not, we can't condemn the marriage that's gone before. It was married in an Anglican church. I said, no, we can't condemn that, but we can only hope and pray that the Lord will lead the way.
Yes.
He said to me before he left, he said, the amazing thing is that your husband is willing, very willing to come to this. So he said, that is mostly you drag the husband screaming. And so he gave my husband catechism lessons, everything. Went to Rome, came back with a papal dispensation from Pope John Paul. Wow. Incredible. From Pope John Paul. I can't tell you what it was like on that day. A special dispensation from, he's now a saint. Pope John Paul, on our wedding, was officiated by a Monsignor, a cardinal, and a bishop.
My goodness.
Incredible. And from then on, I just said, Father, because Maria, I have to tell you, when I first came to England, I went to church. In there, no Irish, no Dutch, no whatever, no blacks. I went to church, sit down on the row. Nobody would sit on my row next to me as if I had leprosy until the church was absolutely full and they had nowhere else to go. And I left the church and went, Father, you're not here. You and I will have to have our meetings in the spirits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This place, this church, you're not in here. And he is awesome. My God is so awesome. People
It
just,
is. Mm,
I mean, people say to me, I go to auditions and people cry when they don't get audition. And I'm thinking, why? You can't get every audition, belongs to somebody else.
wow.
It belongs to, why are you crying? It belongs to somebody else. What is yours, nobody can take from you.
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely amazing, your life, actually, and it's so indicative of Proverb chapter 22 verse 29 that says, see the one who is excellent in his ways or her ways, she will stand
Absolutely.
among kings.
Yeah.
And you have stood among great people,
Oh,
kings,
yeah.
those in
Oh,
authority.
God
And
said the talent will bring you before. Absolutely. Men of
uh,
note.
exactly, exactly. And
He has
they
done
have
that
come
for
to your
me.
rising as you've risen. Kings have
Mhm.
come to your rising. And
Oh,
we often think that we know God's ways in a sense where we can predict what he's going
we
to do.
haven't got a clue.
No.
I don't know about everybody else. I haven't got a clue.
We can put him in a box and says, well, he did this day, so this is how he's going to do it again. But
Uh-huh.
how
Yeah.
restricting is that? What an insult. The fact that
What an
God can do what
insult.
he wants to do,
What an insult.
how
What?
he wants to do it, with
Yeah.
who he wants to do it for and through.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the beautiful mystery of his ways, where we,
Absolutely.
we can revel in it and be surprised, and he can take us from place to place on the perpetual victory parade as he's doing with you. It's amazing.
He has, I mean, I once, my book is called The Faith of a Child.
Yes, we have that. Can we put that on the screen, please? The faith of the
Have
child.
it there.
Yeah, we have an image of your book.
Oh, brilliant. Actually, I tell you what, you look, this is the new revised edition.
Right, yes.
The Faith
Mm-hmm.
of a Child, okay? But you probably have the original, right? The
Yeah, the
paperback.
original one, yeah.
You have the
So,
paperback.
yeah,
So
this,
yeah,
yeah.
that's it. That's the paperback. Yes. And
Okay.
my that title came from my mother,
Mm-hmm.
because I said to her once, because one of my sisters became a pastor. Actually, all my sisters now have their ministries, And my mother, I said to my mom, Mommy, I said, I don't have words for praying like my
Mm-hmm.
sisters do. I said, I must be such a disappointment. I said to her,
Wow.
she said, oh no, my child. She said, your faith since you were little has always been.
Yes.
You never look to the left or to the right. It has
Yes.
always been.
Yes.
And she said, yours is the faith of a child, which is what God has asked for.
That's it.
And it was when I was writing my book, my husband said, that's what you have to call this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband said to me, your mother says you have the faith of a child. That's what you must call this book.
Yeah. Because it's a beautiful heading, and it just goes to show that you see, the thing is, children don't come out and announce themselves, and they don't say, I am this or I am that. It shows in their actions and in their behavior.
Their behavior.
Within, the innocence and the purity shines through with everything that they do. They don't contradict that.
No.
And so it's not so much as to the title, and it's not so much as to what you say you are, the big words. Like, you talked about the debates when you were in school.
I know.
Big words. And I find too many people have big words these
They
days.
have big words, my dear.
But they're not saying very much.
I give lectures at university. I give lectures at Middlesex University. I've been doing it for 9 years, and I can tell you, honey, it's come to the point where I say to the Holy Spirit, I say, Holy Spirit of God, listen, great teacher. The Lord did not call you the teacher for nothing.
That's right.
You are my teacher, because what I can see here, we know nothing. I said, these are just regurgitated knowledge.
Yeah.
Over the centuries, not even their own knowledge. I said, but you will give me my own.
That's
all
it.
I need is wisdom, knowledge, understanding, contentment.
That's it.
All I need to be contented, wherever I find myself.
That's it. What did the wisest man in the world, Solomon, say? There's nothing new under the sun.
Vanity.
Vanity. All of it is
vanity. I make you laugh when I did the first the first workshop at the university, and they had a panel of HR directors.
Yeah.
I said to my husband, what is this HR thing? He said, it's only personnel. It's because they asked me to be on the panel. I said, I don't know anything about HR. He said, oh, it's another word for personnel. When is that it?
Oh my goodness.
You know, it's the big words. I know. That's
big words and acronyms.
Yes.
Now I know around the time that you were doing you started off with the charity work. I know that people, Michael Jackson and all these other people were doing a lot of first, Band Aid and numerous other things in the UK, Band Aid and Feed the World projects. And I know that you got to know Michael Jackson quite well, didn't you? He invited you to sing at his birthdays.
Oh, MJ. I met him first time when he was 17.
Mm-hmm.
A pure spirit.
Yeah.
Very pure spirit. He was 17. And I remember thinking, oh, Father in heaven, if I ever have a son, let him have the spirit of this young man.
Yeah.
He was shy. He had a lot of pimples, just very, and on stage, because we had just seen them on stage. On stage, this boy was dynamic, but, I remember, when my husband met him, it was it 2 years before Michael's 45th? Couldn't believe I was singing at Michael's 45th. I mean, come on. He was a baby when I first saw him. I want it back. Yes, I do now. And my husband said, gosh, I see what you mean. I said to him, he was just a child, just sitting there. It was at Uri Geller's wedding, and he just popping away. And, everybody, the man comes in, ladies and gentlemen, please, no videos, please, no photographs. Mr. Jackson is, Michael comes in and poses with everybody. I'm going, please, the management, management make a lot of fuss. Michael just comes in, and usually when he sees me, he goes, ain't no man, please, because I met Miss Ross many years ago. We didn't get on, so.
Oh, right. Was he comparing you to her as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's got to be a throwback.
Yeah.
It's from your family. I mean, I don't think so. I can't see any resemblance. But anyway, yeah, bless him. You see, this is why with people like Michael Jackson, John Major, bless him, Princess Diana, when you meet people who are so actually quite innocent, the world just pounds at them. Incredible. And so this is why I said to young people, do not listen to the noise.
Yes.
Do not get sucked in with the noise. Look at this face. I have never had an expensive cream on this face. Never. Because when people say to me, gosh, how do you stay looking so young? I don't think I stay looking young. Number one, it's your spirit. You have to body, mind, and spirit have to work together.
Yes.
The spirit is the word. You go into the word, you find out how to keep yourself the way God has created you, to keep yourself as beautiful as He has made. It's all in the Living Bible.
Yeah.
It's all in there. And I say to them, forget about that. They say, oh, well, the cream. I said, listen, have you seen anyone old advertising cream? It's always 21-year-olds. You don't know what they will look like when they go to 60.
Exactly.
And when you see somebody old, which they do now, just for the sake of, I say, but was she using that when she was 21? I say, use your head.
That's right.
Use your head. So you're not sold, things. I say, use your head. Go to your Bible. Read. I said the Israelites they were in exile. For how long? 40 years. No illness. Nothing. Have you investigated that? Why did that happen? That's the thing I do. That's my, and I got to find out what they used. Seriously, I got to find out. You just need people who can read Aramaic. I had this old lady, bless her, she's dead now. She could speak Aramaic. She translated so much for me. I couldn't believe it. I thought, whoa, people don't know this. And if you tell them, they won't believe you. The oils they used were quite amazing, actually. This is what God gave them, and it was simple.
Yes, simplicity is the key. And if we can grasp hold of the perfection of God, if we can have faith in His perfection, then
Yes,
you find that everything makes perfect sense.
Donnie,
You
do you
know,
find that,
everything.
when I thought, because my husband and I, we read the Bible every night
Mhm,
together.
mm,
Even when I'm away, we do it over the phone.
mhm, mhm.
Since we got married, we have read the Bible. I have my Bible, blessed, it's looking very sorry for itself. But we have, and
Good,
every time you read the same verse, it says something to you,
different.
something
That's right.
different. How
Yeah,
how living is that? I mean, it says something
yeah,
different every time.
yeah, yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. And that's what's so powerful about the word of God, isn't it? There are so many faces in God. There's so many
Yeah,
sides to the wisdom that, you read it over and over and you will always come with a new revelation.
you
It's
always
amazing.
come with a new revelation.
You
But
know?
what I
And
find, I'll
mm,
tell you my favorite verse. One of my favorite verses is Psalm 103, verse
yeah,
5.
yeah.
It satisfies my mouth with good things, so that my
Thing.
youth is renewed like the eagles. You know how I interpret that?
Yeah,
When I hear people swear, when I
yeah,
hear people use bad words, angry words, and I'm thinking, it's going there. It's all accumulating.
yeah, yeah. It's amazing that you say that. Because I was reading Psalm 103 this morning, actually.
You're kidding. Bless the Lord, oh my soul.
When,
Oh, that
when
is
I
so
read it,
good. Love
when I,
it.
when I read it, I was thinking, especially verse 1, I was thinking about that old song, that we said. I was like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. Isn't that amazing how, the spirit is one,
Oh,
it's absolutely amazing.
Spirit is
Now, yeah, now, I've loved what you've just mentioned about, the fact that, it's everything that we need is in the word. In a nutshell, that's how I'm summing up what you've said. Because
everything.
actually, the beauty is more so from the inside. We don't know that we're looking at it, but we're
Absolutely.
actually seeing the light of God in people when we look at them. But of course, the world standards it tends to have a box for what to define beauty, and you have to have an injection when you get to a certain age to keep your skin this way, got to put this cream, you've got to do that, you've got to do this. And the reality is that it's from the inside, because if you
On the
follow that tick
inside.
box, it will not add up.
My mother told me.
You might not even be able to smile.
Exactly. Exactly. Most of them can't even,
So you fit a stereotype, but you're miserable.
unbelievable.
What's beautiful about
But
it?
somebody, what are they injecting you? It's what I want to know. What in heaven's name are you being injected with? My mother told me that you have your face, the face God has given you as you grow
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And then you begin to take charge of your face.
Mm,
Everything you do begins to, because mommy was, even at 84 when she died, she was so youthful,
mm.
very youthful, even though my mother was a good example for me. She's full of
Yeah.
wisdom. She's
Do you
full,
think
powerful,
do you
courage.
think the Anglican upbringing that you got from your mother was really what grounded you? Having the word of God,
I think
being
both.
yeah, the
I think
balance.
both. I think the balance was fantastic.
Mm,
I think the balance, both, which is why I've always remained Catholic.
yeah,
But the grounding that she gave me, because I have to say that it wasn't her being Anglican or dad being Catholic. She was a special kind of Anglican,
yeah,
because I haven't met another Anglican like her.
right.
Do you see what I mean? And because I believe, because of that, I came to the conclusion religion is of man, faith
Mm,
is of God.
that's right. That's
Okay?
right. She
So,
sounds like a
yeah.
wise woman. Mm,
So I came, because of her, I came to believe that religion, yeah, is of man.
yeah,
Faith is of God. Because the first time I was going to give a lecture at the university, I was told no religion, no politics, no spirituality. So
yeah, yeah.
what's left then? So I said, okay, I don't do religion. I certainly don't do politics. But
Mm,
spirituality, who asked for me? They said the students. I said, well, they'll get what I give them.
yeah,
So the
yeah,
first thing I said to them was, apparently you don't do spirituality, but I'm not here to speak to your hijab or your t-shirts or your jeans. I have to speak to your spirit. Otherwise, I'm wasting my time and you're wasting your time.
yeah, Yeah, yeah. And I like what you said. I read once where you said dealing with people is in show business is like dealing with people's spirits.
Oh yeah.
That was an awesome phrase.
Oh yeah.
Now, could you expand on that a little bit from your perspective, please?
Well, I tell you what, if you're a singer, an entertainer, most entertainers just don't understand the power they have.
Mm,
Because you walk into a room, a stadium, you get the spirit of the people. It's incredible.
yeah.
Okay? Especially if you're doing a musical, you walk in. Sometimes when I was playing Carmen in the West End, I walk in on stage and I think, oh, thank goodness, this is going to be such a great show.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk in and I go, oh, they're going to be such hard work. It's like a spirit that moves together.
Yeah.
And also the other thing is people will say, oh my goodness, that song just reminded me when my husband and I got married. That song
Mm,
reminded me when my child was born. I was listening to that. And I'm thinking, that's interesting. Because it's the spirit that's speaking there. It's not
mm,
the physical self. You're actually affecting their spirit. And they don't know. Okay, it was an old actor when I was 19, 20, not 20, my first leading role. And he said to me, and I said to him, I don't think I'm going to last long in this business because I don't have the outgoing ego that everyone
mm.
seems to exude. He said, no. He said, think of the biggest stars around. They are the ones that are vulnerable.
Yeah.
He said, and because they've come across as vulnerable, the audience want to protect them. That's what makes a star. I will never forget that.
Mm.
And then I realized you're dealing with people's spirit.
That's right.
Mhm.
And spirit to spirit, spirit talks to spirit.
Spirit talks to spirit.
That's it.
Indeed.
So therefore, when somebody truly looks at you and calls you beautiful, it's your spirit we're looking at.
My spirit. That's what I think. I just say to the Lord, thank you.
Mm. And I believe that's what's really stood you in good stead all these years. That as you walk into a room,
Amen.
light it up as you begin to come out of your house, and people begin to see, wow,
You
it's
say incredible things
it's a
because
connection with God.
this is what I say to my students when I come into the room, because I have to teach them sometimes how to present themselves at interviews.
Yeah.
And I say to them, when I come into this room, I expect my spirit to bounce off that wall and come back right back to me because it's got nowhere
Mhm.
else to go. I
Mhm.
expect my spirit to fill the room.
Yeah.
And they go, what? I said, yeah. I said, when you come in with such love,
Mm.
okay? Because that's what the spirit is, pure love. You
Yeah.
just come in with such love for
Mm.
everyone.
Mm.
And I say to them, I make a joke and I say to them, if somebody upsets me, next time we meet, I'll forget them. I'll forgive them.
Yeah.
Because because I'm not going to put their lines on my face.
Yeah.
I'll have my lines, thank you, from my problems, but nobody else's lines come on my face.
That's
Because when
right.
they go home and they sleep, and I'm going to worry about what happened? No.
Mm.
But if they do it again, then I give them a wide berth because seriously, it's so
Yeah.
simple. That's how it is.
It is. It is very, very simple. And I think that that's such wise words, because at the end of the day, where does ego actually come from? I think is when people forget that it's to do with what's inside. It's your spirit, and then you start believing the lies and the
And then
facade,
you start believing the lies, the
and
noise. Yeah.
you forget who you are,
You forget.
and become this image that everyone is looking at.
Yeah.
So when they come to meet you, all they get to see is an image. They don't
You
really
become
get
a
to see
cartoon of yourself.
the caricature. That's right. I hear you. It's yes, yes, yes. There's so much that we can talk about that, but sadly we have run out of time. But one
I
thing that
know.
you mentioned Carmen, and we've got a little video of you singing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina," which I'd
Oh
love
my
to play
God.
before we go, if you don't mind.
Not at
So,
all.
have we got that video? Can we play that, please? Just a few, maybe a minute or 30 seconds of it, please.
it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all I have done. You won't believe me, all you will see, it's a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines, at 6s and 7s with you. I had to let it happen, I had to change. I couldn't spend all my life down at hill, looking at all the windows, staying out of the sun. So I chose freedom, running around, trying everything new, but nothing impressed me at all. I never expected it to. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is, I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I've kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. And as for what you
Oh, wonderful, wonderful voice. And of course, all the numerous different genres that you've covered. You've done a lot of theatre work in, working in Hair, Carmen Jones, Jesus Christ, Superstar, Two Gentlemen of Verona, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina is the one that we just heard just now from Carmen. Absolutely amazing. And of course, you've done so much more. What does the future hold for Dr. Patti LaBelle, OBE?
Patti Boulaye.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's okay when the presenter makes all the mistakes. That's good. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, well, the future is whatever God, plans, really. I mean, I just, I'm doing my tour. I'm back doing my tour.
Yeah.
And what I do, I also have like an academy, teaching young people how to really deal with life, how to be more spiritual,
Yes.
how to go more into their spirit. Because, they say those who live in the spirit, no law can touch them, really.
Yeah.
So I teach them, to really come back to their spirit, because young people don't know. Everybody talks to them about soul. They think it's so I sort of teach them. I have an academy. I run master. It's called a program called Master the Power of Living.
Yes.
Power of life, the power of being you, the power of public speaking, the power of everything you want to do. You can master the power of it. And then, obviously when people say, well, how do you master this power? I say, well, it's actually in your spirit. It's all in the book.
Yeah.
I just guide you on how, you master the power of how to parent, how to, be a grandmother. For example, my grandson, I started talking to him about the Lord even before he could speak.
Yeah.
Because to me, he's still connected up there. Until he can utter the words, he is much more connected than me. So I just make sure the transition, when it comes, start speaking, that he starts. And I couldn't believe it. He came out of the nursery and made a paper cross. And he came up to me and said, Peke. He calls me Peke. That's his pet name. He said, I made a cross for you because you love God a lot. I went, oh, this little thing actually was listening. So I thought, this is God's way of saying he was listening and he heard you. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. It's amazing, that out of the mouth of babes, he ordained praise. And, it's amazing, because I think a lot of times, we look at success from the perspective of, everybody see me and I'm doing well, but it's behind the closed doors as well. It's a 24-hour 7 day a week,
for
365
hours,
days,
7 day a week. But
Yeah.
you have to. I tell you what, people say to me, "Gosh, you always look so." I say to them, "This is a great gift, this body,
Mm,
in which the Holy Spirit is going to dwell. This
mm,
is a great gift. This is why
yeah.
I have to look after it.
Yes,
I
yes, yeah.
have to look after it. I can't, gluttony. It's
Mm,
eating too much. You can drink, but don't drink too much.
mm.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah,
I think it's all in the book if you know how to interpret it. And I just look after what he has given me. It's a great gift. And
yeah.
then when it goes, it destroys and the spirit just goes on.
That's it. Wow. Absolutely amazing life, absolutely amazing career. And of course, your private life, your family life, absolutely amazing. You've done so well and just so much success. And I believe that people out there have learned a lot from you today. Just knowing how to navigate life. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the spirit again. And as Psalms 103 says, "Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. Bless
Within me, bless his holy name
His."
indeed.
Amen. So
But
on
I
that,
teach people this, even in my show, when I
mm,
do tours,
mm,
I make sure that I have lessons in a way. I do Aretha Franklin, which is right now, which is easier because Aretha was her father was a pastor.
yes.
Exactly. So it was easier for me to say to people the only reason that
Mm,
she died in her mid 60s, being the greatest singer of our time,
mm,
is because of her faith.
yes.
Because otherwise, it would have been that's the only reason she died in her without drugs, without, because usually
In that world.
in that world, it would be drug abuse, but hers, she died of natural causes. And that is because I think her faith.
That kept her
Mhm.
amazing. So tell us, Dr. Boulaye, how do we follow you and how do people get hold of your material and also get connected with your academy as well, please?
Oh, well, my academy is called Bipada Academy. So that's
Mhm.
BIPADA.com. And they can get in touch with me on my website, pattiboulaye.com, or
Mhm.
follow me on Instagram. I'm not very active on social media. I'm trying to correct that. But they can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn because it's
Yeah.
more professional. And on Twitter, it's like a pub brawl. So Twitter is like, it's I don't know what to call Twitter. It really is like the place for madness. So
Many people have said that actually.
yeah, it's like
Mm,
it's a pub brawl.
mm,
It's like sitting in a pub when everybody, all those people sitting at home who have nothing else to do but to be negative, to live in darkness.
mm.
They find their home in Twitter. That's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting. So I'm not very, I just do Twitter because I'm in show business. I'm not on it. And Instagram, I am on Instagram, Patti Boulaye OBE. But that's it. On Facebook, yes, I'm very active on Facebook
Yeah.
sometimes. But
Mhm.
so they can, you can find me on all those platforms.
And your book is available on the usual stockists, Amazon.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
this one I showed you, this is the hard copy.
Yes.
Kind of like collectors,
Mhm,
really. And
mhm.
that's on tvbrain.info. They
Okay.
have it, tvbrain.info. Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Thank you so much for being an absolutely amazing guest. We have learned so much, and I believe people out there have been truly blessed. Thank you so very
It's
much.
been great to speak to you, Dalo.
Yeah,
It's been fantastic. Do you
thank
speak
you.
Igbo at all?
I don't know, but I heard you mention some Igbo words earlier on. I was thinking, oh yeah, go on. And you stopped. Would you like to say something in Igbo?
Yeah, I just said Dalo, which is thank
Okay.
you.
Oh, thank you. Okay. All right then. Well, hopefully, you'll be able to come back on the show again pretty soon. We'd really love to
Yes,
have you
you
back
will.
on the show. And
God bless
until
you,
then,
darling.
yeah, goodbye.
You guys got me up so early.
Well, you're amazing. That's the thing about professional people. You wake them up and they're on the ball. They know exactly what to say at the right time, which is
That's true.
amazing. Great.
The light comes on.
Yes,
There's
that's
no business like show. Business like show.
amazing. So thank you so much. Until the next time, we'll have to say goodbye for now. And God
You
bless
too,
you.
darling. God
See
bless.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye. What an absolutely amazing morning we've had. And, we've learned so much from, Dr. Patti Boulaye, OBE. She's been absolutely amazing, came with so much wealth of knowledge. And I believe that people out there are blessed. Make sure you follow her, subscribe to whatever she's doing. You will be surely blessed. And buy her book as well, just to learn and to understand, because truly we are all a spirit being. We're made by the spirit. And so we need to use and follow the spirit in order to navigate ourselves through this world. We don't look at other people and idolize, but we do look at people who are successful, and we follow the crumbs to understand how to be limitless. My name is Reverend Maria Bond. I've got to get used to that now. And you've been watching Limitless, and I look forward to seeing you again next week, the same time and the same place. And until then, goodbye and God bless you.